Ah,
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Witch Times Television. Yay, got it right the first.
it'll take some time, but it's all good. You did it right away.
Hey, it's all good. And I want to ask everyone before we even get started, since Facebook would not allow us to change our page, we started a new one. And so if you would please
Oh,
go on to Facebook and type in Witch Times Television. Our new page is up. Of course, it's basically a skeleton. We haven't filled it up with anything yet, or which we will. But if you could go to that and like it, because we're gonna keep putting the events up on our old page for a while until everybody gets used to it. But it would be great if you could like our new page because we're transitioning over to that. And since they wouldn't let us keep our
new
old page,
name. Oh my goodness, yeah.
we have to start from scratch. But that's okay. You know what? It's a new name, new beginning. So why not a new page, right?
Right, right. At least they let us keep the group, and change the
Yeah,
name,
at
and
least
that's
they
a
let us
good
keep
thing.
the group name.
Yeah,
So
we won't. Yeah, that's something.
that's something to be grateful for. So with that said, welcome again to our show. Forgive me if we didn't even introduce ourselves. I'm Goddess Rhonda, and of course, it's
Hi.
one of those crazy Mercury retrograde post shadow days. We have with us our beautiful goddess Starr.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here again. And as you know, again, the new name, Which Times, I have to say it myself a few times so I can get used to it. Which Times Television. I
Yay!
love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. I
I love
can't
it
wait.
too. All
Yeah.
right. And as always, before we begin, we like to cast a circle of protection around us. All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, our brothers and sisters. I'm going to give that a little more juice because it looked like it was smoking, but it really wasn't. And we do not want to offend the
Anyone?
element of air.
No, we do not. Hmm.
There we go. All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, our brothers and sisters, our brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is. So mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the South, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of fire. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of your direction, to all of your walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is. So mote it be.
So it is. So mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the West, our brothers and sisters, our sister and patron, the sacred element of water. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is. So mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the North, my brothers and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of earth. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is. So mote it be.
So it is. So mote it be. Your Atame goddess.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm like in a weird mood. Okay.
It's okay.
And we and we now bring down the divine white light from the sacred source of all well-being and fill all of our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is, So mote it be.
So it is, and so would it be.
Yes, God, Starr and I work very hard, so we're entitled to be a little loopy. Just haven't even
I know.
sipped my wine yet. Let me have a little sip.
I know, right? I'm like, I haven't had anything all day.
Cheers to everybody. We just love
Yeah.
you.
Cheers. Mm,
Oh,
good.
that's so good.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome everyone in our chat room. As always, we're so grateful to see you. We're so grateful for your presence. We've got, let's see who we got here. We've got a lot of our wonderful family. We have our beautiful Bella, our beautiful Judy, our beautiful Veronica, our beautiful Jakey, and I hope I haven't missed anybody. We are so glad for you. And if whoever else is watching, I know some people are very shy, and that's okay. But please, by all means, feel free to join in our chat room. It gets pretty lively. We've got good discussions in there. So if you're shy and you don't feel like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't, or you want to contribute your thoughts or anything like that, please, by all means, join us in the chat room. If you're on your computer, it's to the right of the screen. I believe if you're on a tablet or phone, you might have to scroll down. I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be too difficult to find. And of course, happy new moon to everyone before I forget to say that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy New Moon, everyone.
All righty. So let's go ahead and jump into our show. Now, we're going to talk about holding on to an irretrievable past. Why do we have such a hard time letting go of those things that no longer serve us? And the third one that I had put in there, I actually had not planned to put that in there. It just so happened that I went on to Facebook to post the event, and one of my friends had on her page this article, I believe it was from the Nambia Times, and it had a woman on there who was displaying her unshaven armpits, and the bulk of, if you go to the actual page of the post, first of all, I was shocked by all the body shaming that was on my friend's page. My friend did no body shaming, but the Zombie and Herald, excuse me, that's the name of it. If you look at my page and you see just hit the post button for that, it'll go to that page.
Yeah, I saw that.
Literally tens of thousands of women, which I'm telling you, it literally brought tears to my eyes. Women body shaming this other woman because she decided to let the hair under her arms grow. And it was like, you're disgusting, how awful, cover them up, and things like that. And I'm even looking at it now because I wanted to show, I'm going to post it in our groups, in our chat room, so you guys can
see it. Yeah, I saw it on your page. I was just shocked. I was like, wow.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying I was just shocked by it all. I was just like, you know, I think I am just more and more embarrassed by women, because the one thing that I always thought that we were sisters under the skin, and as women in general. But the more I see here in society, wherever you go, is the more I see we tend to be, and I'm not going to include myself or you in this. These women tend to be the hardest, the harshest, the most vindictive towards our own. I don't get it. We don't need men to belittle us and put us down, because the women are doing such an amazing job. The men have to sit back and watch it all happen. They don't need any help from the men, because the women are doing it all. They all have decided that the men are right over time, and that men are right and women are wrong. Women don't have to, it cannot be that way. But men, I see men all the time with hair hanging down to here and stuff. No one says anything or shames them like that.
Anything. And for some reason, it's not letting me post the link. So if you just go to Facebook and put in the Zambian I'm going to spell it for you. Zombie, and I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. It's Z like zebra, A, M like Mary, B boy, IAN like Nancy Harold. And you'll see the post. It's from April 2nd, or just go to if you go to my page, it's on there. And where it says Rhonda shared the Zambian Herald post, click on with the word post. And you will see the most horrific. This one guy even posted a picture of throwing up and all kinds of really disgusting, disgusting things. One guy even said, and I think I'm going to have to go ahead and address this because I just saw it and now my hair is standing up. Some idiot named Roger called her a nasty, nappy-headed hoe.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it just gets worse and worse from there. So, of course, I had to look into why did we start shaving ourselves in the first place. I know I started shaving because my mother told me to. I didn't know. My mother said you're supposed to shave your arms and your underarms. Okay, that's, I think most of us women never put any thought into it, like why, but why? It was just that's what girls do, and that's what your mother told you to do. That's what she taught you to do. So you did it. She did it. Her mother did it. So you didn't really know, and it didn't really spark in me trying to find out why did we start doing that in the first place. And so I had to take a look and see what happened. And it turned out back in the 18th century, when women were fully covered, they wore the long dresses and they were all covered up. However, they may have displayed, especially as they got older, some facial hair. Men wanted the women to have porcelain skin. And so they insisted that they get rid of the hair. And so they didn't have like we have razors and things like that. The razors that they used back then on men were actually pretty dangerous. So women would use all kinds of concoctions to do what they can to please men because the men felt that if you had facial hair, you were ugly. And if you had, smooth porcelain, hairless skin, you were beautiful. And as times changed and skirts got shorter because women wouldn't shave their legs. They used to have very heavy stockings. As skirts got shorter, men complained again. And then who was it? One of the main people, Gillette, came out with a T-shaped razor. And so they would start shaving their legs and but it was all done because men felt that women who had body hair were masculine and it was unattractive. And so they insisted that we remove our body hair. Now, we were given body hair for a reason. It didn't just show up on its own. I'm sure there's some sort of reason that we were given that. But back then, men didn't like it. And as usual, what do we as women do? We have to please the men. And so we started shaving and conforming to make us look better. And now when I saw, and listen, if people don't shave, I know women who don't shave. I don't see anything wrong with it. Whether you shave or you don't shave, what difference does it make? I was just overwhelmed at the body shaming that they did to this poor woman. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe the comments of nasty and yuck and yikes, and that's gross. And that's so ugly. And oh, you look like a boy. Not sexy. You're not a lady at all. I'll pass on the hairy. I mean, a big absolute no. My husband said he didn't want to hug a bear. I'm like, really? I wanted to say, you know what? Fuck your husband and fuck you too for even saying that. And I was just so angry that they did this to this woman who was probably just a model and, did it for, just the article or whatever. I was just disgusted and shocked and I was overwhelmed. I expect that bullshit from men. I expect that because they're so intimidated by us anyway. But for women to do that to women, here we are, Goddess Starr and I and all of our wonderful family in our chat rooms and all of our great people who watch us are doing what we can to uplift the divine feminine, to uplift the goddess, to uplift female strength and power. And here we are in 2018 with literally like 17,000 comments putting this woman down. And from a witch standpoint, I'm actually concerned of all of that horrible negativity focused on that woman and how that's going to affect her life, with everyone telling her how ugly she is and stupid and calling her a hoe and everything else. And
Judging already. Yeah.
I just, I can't, I'm almost speechless. I'm actually stuttering.
Right. I can hear it. I can feel how impassioned you are with it.
Oh,
And rightly so, it's I can't even say the words, honestly, because I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. Let me check and make sure I don't have yep, no,
I'm
mine is off.
definitely silenced.
Okay, so am I. Yeah, I've no idea why women especially have the gumption to go against one another like that, because I just sat back as you were saying it and I thought, what if the goddesses themselves, like how I forgot the Willendorf goddess, how big she is, were they going to shame her for her size? We have no idea if the gods and goddesses, or the goddesses really, had hair hanging out anywhere, because they just saw themselves as they were. Were they going to shame or try to shame that goddess then too? Let's see you try that shit with Kali. Mm. I'm just like, because in their country here is they let it all hang. So I'm just wondering, some of these goddesses out there that you all are worshiping and heralding and all of that, I wonder if they were like that, if how much you guys were going to be saying against them. I'm just, we have become, without even realizing it, the men don't have this. We have become their swords against our own selves. We have become the ones that will say the worst rather than stand up for, or with one another. And that is very sad. But I think we've been seeing it a lot on Facebook. I mean, the shaming of a person's body or their skin color or their different things. People seem to think they have the right to do it. Pick at whatever it is that they don't like or does not conform for some whatever reason, and it always feels like it comes worse when you're of that gender, and more than ever, that's the gender that's hitting most.
Yes.
Hitting most and saying the most amazing things. Men, honestly speaking, I'll tell you something. The grown men that I know that are real men, I can guarantee you my husband would not have thought second twice about it. He would have been like, let her be. She's what she is. That's what she wants. And walked away. It did not concern him. To me, a real man that I would look up to or want to be with would not concern himself with that, because he would be like, live and let live. So to me, those so-called men on those comments, they're not men. They're not grown-ass men as far as I'm concerned. They're little peons that has to say something to put somebody else down. That's just the way I see them. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Exactly.
not sorry is the worst, because they're not men. And those women, I'm sorry. Again, not women.
Not at all. And I had said tens of thousands. I just looked. It's actually 278,000 people telling her how disgusting she looks.
Wow.
And so, I had to comment. I commented on the page. I just told that other guy off because I had to, the one who called her a nappy-headed hoe. I just could not.
And how would he know what she does or does not do? Presumption of his part.
It's a presumption. He has no right to say anything. We as women, we have really got to do what we can to build each other up. We really do. It is just not acceptable to talk about each other that way. It's just not acceptable. And, we're told by men, how to dress, how much to weigh, how big our boobs should be. If you're born and you're a size B or you're size A, I have to get a boob job because men like big boobs. Ever since I chopped my hair off, when I decided to not use relaxers anymore, I chopped my hair off, and I actually find it's easier for me to take care of this way. I cannot tell you how many women walk up to me and say, men love long hair. They love long hair. Men love long hair. It's really long hair that men like. Well, you know what? Fuck that. I like my short hair. And there are lots of men who like my short hair. Men aren't stuck with this particular type. They like short hair, long hair, blonde hair, mid-hair, big boobs, big butts, little butts. They all have a type. It's we as women that are projecting this
Yeah.
onto each other. We're
Or
doing.
not just that, we as women are the ones allowing them to set the trend for us. If we as women decide that we were going to accept ourselves for who we were and stand up for one another, it does not matter what the men dictate, because either they deal with this as the female species, or they get nothing, or they have nothing. Those are the choices they will have. You know, it's in their faces, and women are saying, because all over Europe, there are women that their lifestyle has been always to let everything go and grow. And no one tells them anything when they see them, because they grew up like that all their lives. But in when they come to the United States, a different thing is put on them about what they how they their hair is growing or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm,
It's all over a lot of places all over the world,
mm-hmm.
you know. So I don't know. I think if we set the norm as to what is proper for us, which should be what feels good for you, if that short hair or that hair growing, whatever it is, if that feels right for you, then do it. I don't want to be like everybody else.
Me
I want to
either.
be me. I want to be always me. I've always been just me. I don't dress like anybody else. I dress like me. And I like what fits for me. It may not be right for you, but it fits for me. I don't have to please
Exactly.
anybody else but me. It's comfortable for me and for you the way you want to do it. If you're comfortable, who am I to look at you and go, oh, you know what? That does not look right. No, that's you. That's what embodies you and makes you feel comfortable. So who am I to say change all of that and be like me? Really? If men wanted all the women to look exactly alike and be whatever, they would not have a typing. And they all do, whether they want to admit it or not, they have a typing. We all women do. We too. We have typings too. And whether it's a big man, a short man, or whatever, we all have our typing. And it's not based on whatever it is that we came up with, that's our typing. It is what it is. So I don't know. I think people need to learn to live and let live. Seriously, they need to learn to live and let live. Let it go. It's none of their concern.
That's right. It's none of your business what anybody does. And, I guess maybe one of the reasons I got so angry is because, these same women that are saying horrible things, if someone came back at them and told them they were ugly or they didn't like their hair color or they needed to put false eyelashes on, they would be very hurt. But yet they have no problem spewing all of this poison at some poor woman who decided not to shave her arms. And really, really, guys, is that really the biggest issue that you have? Is your life so empty that you can just sit there and be so critical about someone who didn't shave their arms? When there is so much bullshit going on in the world right now, there are people who are starving, they have no water. They still haven't recovered in a lot of areas where we had a lot of hurricanes last summers and things like that. We have so many things going on right now. We've got domestic violence, we've got drunk drivers, you name it. We've got the White House is in shambles. There are so many things, and your big passion is you don't like underarm hair. What does that say about you? Seriously,
Honestly,
what does that say?
that's what you call bullying at its finest.
Yes, that's bullying.
That's bullying. But if you look at the person in the White House and he's the biggest bully on Facebook or in social media, then everybody else think they can jump on the bandwagon and be the biggest bully out there too. But it's bullying.
It's
That's what
bullying.
278 million people are bullying this woman to conform to what they believe she should. Seriously? Get a bloody life, man. Get a
Exactly.
life.
That's
You
just
got a life. If you got a real life of your own, you would not be studying her armpit or her whatever else that she's got hanging out. You really wouldn't, honestly, because you're so busy. You're like, damn, it's been real, nice. That's nice armpit. Whatever it is that you want to say, oh, walk on. You really don't even have time to notice the armpit. Get a life, please do so.
please get a life because we as witches, we've been shunned just because we're witches. You know, there's lots of reasons I'm sure we've been bullied. All of us have been bullied because of our race, because of our spirituality, or whatever. It's not nice. We were taught in kindergarten not to do that, but it just really hurt me. Like I said, I expect crap from men. I did not expect because the overwhelming amount of comments are from other women. And I'm just very sad that in this day and age, we are still coming after each other with our claws out. And that is why we don't have a woman president. Women are still making less money than men are because we cannot band together. I'm not going to say we because we've banded together. These other people, these other women cannot band together and do anything because men still rule their lives and they're a bunch of sheep. And so to all of them, I want to say, shame on you. You disgust me and you are a disgrace to the female gender. And that's what I want to say about that. And I
Yep.
want to say also to everybody out there, never be ashamed of who you are, what you are, how you look. And if nobody likes it, let that be their problem, not yours. And if you hear someone body shaming another woman, by all means, jump in and
Stand
put
up.
that person
Stand up.
down. I
Stand
mean,
up
take
and
them
be
out
counted.
at the knees.
Stand
Now,
up and be counted. Stand up to that with that person and say, nope, not happening. Not on my watch.
say something. Let other women know that this is not going to
Not
be
acceptable.
tolerated. It is not acceptable. Not at all. Because that really, I'm really angry. I'm still angry.
Goddess, to me, I see it as goddesses of the world unite. Stand up, be counted, and stand for each other. Simple. We have to end the tyranny of men deciding what we can and cannot do with who we are. We don't decide for them. At no time do we say to conform to whatever. And even if we do, a majority of them just say, fuck it, I'm going to do my own thing. And they do. And they walk away from society and they do what they want to do. Hello? When are we going to do the same thing? Why do we have to always conform?
Why do we have to conform? Why would we put someone in the White House who says, you know, grab woman by the pussy? He got elected. And guess what? Women voted for him.
Yeah.
Someone explain that to me. Why you would vote for someone who made sexual remarks about his own daughter. I mean, that's just disgusting. But it was women, a lot of women, who put him in the White House. And I heard my sister told me that someone had said to her, "Oh, well, the reason I didn't vote for Hillary was because I know how I am when I'm on my period, and so she probably wouldn't be able to function." Like, okay. First of all,
Oh my goddess. Oh my goddess. Oh my goddess. I am not even going to go there.
Yeah. Imagine women not
Oh
only
my
have periods, they work, they raise children, they do everything despite their pain. We still function just fine. And for you to even say something like that, you know, I'm the type of person that I would have taken her eyes out, but my sister's very sweet. I'm not. And I would be more, I would have just really, I just reached over and just plucked her eyes out for
No,
something.
no. I would be honestly, I would be asking her, are you female? Were you born female? Because
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. Show me your parts because I need to see the bits. Because I cannot believe that you're an actual female born with it, that you would even make that statement. So we can never have a conversation. Never.
No,
Because we are not in the same realm of thought. No. Okay. Bye bye. It's been real. I would not be able to have a conversation with that person.
no,
I
not at
can't.
all. But we've got to do something, ladies and men out there, because there are some very kind, loving, and supportive men and women out there. We've got them in our Witch Times television family, in our chat room. We've got to come up with a way that this needs to stop, that we as women we've got to stop being slaves to what men want. And I think it starts with the little girls. You know, when we're little girls and they give us our little princess thingies, our little Cinderella things, and they're all sparkly and shiny, and we get the Cinderella shoes, they're little clear heels. They got like a little 2-inch heel on them, and we put them on them. All of those, the sparkly, shiny little outfits and heels, are all preludes to lingerie and stilettos. We're already training those little girls to think that that's what they need to wear to look beautiful. And so why not hand your daughter a football? Give her a football and tell her to go out there and kick the boy's ass in football. Let's teach them the way men are taught, to take control of their lives and get out there and do what they need to do, instead of, flouncing and playing in their mother's makeup and putting on their little lingerie thingies that they disguise as little girl clothing. But look at those clothes. They're sequined, they're netted, they're lacy, and we get them. If you go into like Toys R Us or the shoe store, you'll see these little girl dress-up shoes with high heels with the little plume of feathers on them. We're training them to believe that this is the way they need to be. We buy them fake makeup kits. I had fake makeup kits when I was a kid. That was subconscious training telling me my face is not beautiful enough the way it is. I have to put makeup on in order to look beautiful. There are just so many subtle subconscious programmings that we are putting into these little girls, and it's bad enough. And look, I know I'm older than a lot of people, but looking at some of these girls doing their rap music and entertainment with no clothes on, and actually promoting that they should do this to make men happy. We need to talk about what we as women can do to make ourselves happy, to make ourselves feel secure enough that if we want to shave, fine. If we don't want to shave, fine. But we've got to do something to get rid of this insecurity that is so strong within us that we will viciously attack another woman who refuses to conform. And if you guys in our chat room, if you have any ideas of what we can do to promote women being secure and happy with exactly who they are. If you guys ever Google the goddess statues and fertility goddesses in particular, if you look at those ancient statues, you're going to see women with huge stomachs, with huge sagging breasts, and they were considered beautiful. Now, if you look like that, they'll throw all kinds of diet materials at you and tell you need to exercise and you look ugly and all that. But take a look at that one day. Take a look at, just Google the images of the fertility goddess of old, and you will see what was worshipped as beautiful, as a beauty that in today's day and age, women would rather, a lot of women, I don't want to group all women together, there are women who would literally rather lay down and die than be okay that their boobs are not as perky as they used to be and their hips are wider than they were when they were 20. We've got to come up with some way that we can help each other. So I'm just throwing it out there. I know I've been rattling on about it, and we'll move on now. But I did want to throw that out there because I'm really angry.
Yeah, you're very incensed, and very good reason to be.
Oh, I'm really angry.
Yeah.
As a witch, just seeing all these hundreds of thousands of people projecting.
Yeah, that's a lot of,
That's just not cool, guys. Not cool. So, Goddess Starr, why don't you tell us what our chat room has to say about all this?
Oh, okay. And you do know that I don't have as nice a chat room as going. Somehow I can only go back. When I go there, I can only stay there. Hold on.
Oh, tell me if you have
can you see me? Can you see me when I do it?
Okay, go. Are you looking at that page right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you just fine.
Oh, see, all this time I thought when I switched to this page, you guys cannot see me.
Oh, no.
That's why I was like, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go back up. Let me go back up to where. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna begin with Jakey. Jakey says, I have very fine and thin hair, but also have acne-prone skin and live in the desert. So for those reasons, I do it. Understandably. Goddess Rebecca says, I agree, Goddess Starr. Let's see. Goddess Judy Glenn said, I agree, Starr. Looks are fleeting. It's the mind, heart, and soul that attracts me. And then Goddess Judy Jakey said, that's one of the many reasons why I couldn't be on Facebook anymore, or almost any social media site. Never been on Instagram and tried Twitter for about a minute. And then Goddess Veronica I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Sorry. As a hairstylist, I love natural texture. Oh, thank you, Goddess Veronica. I agree with you. I love it. It kind of moves up a bit.
Yeah, it does. It scrolls.
Yeah. Goddess Jasmine Moonglow says, "Hi, Starr. Hi, Rhonda." And then she says, "As long as the lifestyle is hygienic and does not pose a health issue like lice or scabies, I say live and let live." And you're absolutely right.
Right.
Health issues are the only thing that I could think of that prevents anything. If people are quick to say unkind things to, Goddess Judy said, if people are quick to say unkind things to others who have done nothing to wrong them, it says more about the lack of integrity and the vapid soul that these people possess.
Yes.
Agree. And Aaron Donaldson said, "Thank you." And then Goddess Jasmine said, "Some people just can't let things go." And then Goddess Veronica says, "Maybe they're jealous because that women broke free of social constraints." I agree with that. And then Goddess Jasmine said, "There are more important things to dwell on." And then we have Goddess Judy says, "True, Veronica. Why is it if a person is confident, kind, etc., that others want to tear them down? They should be applauding their joie de vie." And then Goddess Jasmine says, "Sophia Loren never shaved hers and she was a famous actress." All right, Sophia, I loved her anyways. I didn't know that. I loved her. In Europe, people don't have those kind of hang-ups. Exactly. I have friends from Europe and they did not shave at all. They did not. And then Goddess Judy says, "I agree, Jasmine Glow. So much for our Christian Puritan values." And then Goddess Jasmine said, "In the workplace, I have found that women are really catty." And then Veronica said, they want what the kind person wants, but are too lazy or frightened or selfish to do what it takes to be like the kind person." And then Judy says, "I agree, Rhonda, about POTUS. Repeat, moral turpitude. Crazy." And then Jakey said, "Not this woman. I did not vote for that man."
No.
And then Jasmine says, "I saw a girl who was harassed to the point of a nervous breakdown. Oh, wow. Because she was A, English as primary language. B, she enjoyed her job and she did her job well." And then Emerson's Coffee Bike and Rum Shop says, "I didn't vote for either one." And then Jasmine Glow said, "Manager failed to nab the problem in the bud and the focus was turned to my Trini co-worker and myself." Oh, Goddess Jasmine. Awesome. Trini. Girl, I'm my mom and they were Trini. Awesome. Jasmine Glow said, "I was harassed because of my speaking voice. It's very nasally." And then Jakey said, "I grew up as a tomboy. They tried like hell to change that, so I ended up gothic tomboy bohemian." LOL.
Not a girl goddess.
Yeah, good for you. And you know what? As I remember visiting Trinidad and Tobago, and my mom was the whole family, all the men were mechanics. And because my mom loved being under the car and looking at everything, I started doing it. So I had a doll, yes, but that doll and I were under the car with my mom trying to fix things. So there. And we were doing just as much as the boys. And then Jasmine Glow says, "I was never raised to be a girly girl because my adoptive mom had no clue what to do with me after I was a toddler. She never did my hair. I didn't even learn to shave my legs from her when I was a teen. I taught myself. Yet my adoptive mother wouldn't let me do sports." Oh, that's sad. And then let's see. Yeah, it moved up. Then Judy says, no, I missed it. I think I went. Oh, "I loved Michael Schifrin's Olympic commercial theme, ABFTTB, always be faster than the boys."
Very
Because
nice.
that can be elevated on so many levels, reminding us to be our best self. I love that. And then Veronica says, "I find women are the one who set the female standard. Most men could care less about which brand of mascara a woman's wearing."
That's the
And
truth.
she's right. She's absolutely right. And then Jasmine says, "I love Venus de Milo because Venus had a very androgynous face." And then Virax V
Hooray.
says Veray. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I remember you were pronouncing that, and then you said Veray. Okay, sounds good. Says Merry Meet. I'm late. Merry Meet, Veray. We glad to have you here, and so is Eileen as well. Ellen, sorry. Merry Meet.
Very neat.
And then Jasmine says hi to Veray. They're all saying they're late or whatever. And yeah, they said there was a Facebook article to this girl from Zambia. And Jasmine says the girl from Zambia grew her armpit out, Veray. And then Goddess Ellen says, I have 6 granddaughters and none of them wear makeup, from really light skinned to dark skinned. Very, very good.
Very
I
much.
think that's it, right? Did I get down to the
That's it.
bottom?
That was
Yes.
good.
Awesome. Awesome. So I got down to the bottom. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Yeah. So it's I like your comments and everything, and I'm glad to see everyone is on the same page, because we're all seeing it for what it is. Now, let's hope it can translate out there in the real world, because it's a shame what's happening. And they're using social media to bully people extremely so. Extremely. I'm appalled that they even have time. When do they take their time out in their day to do all this bullying? I don't get it.
Exactly. But anyway, I don't want to stay on that forever. I just wanted to bring that up. I'm calming down now. Actually, as Goddess Starr was reading the comments
I
in
thought that would do it.
the chat room, I started calming down. You guys, you send your beautiful energy,
Yeah.
words, and now I feel so much better because I came on the show ready to rip somebody's throat out.
I can tell. I can tell.
I'm okay now. I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna have another little sip of wine.
Between the wine and the nice words of these women and men in our chat room, you guys rock. You really do. You take us through the show, and you are definitely always part of our show.
You are. We're so grateful for you. All right. Well, let's move on to our other topics.
Yeah.
So we also wanted to talk about, especially we've got the new moon here, and every new moon, we try to plant new intentions or make a fresh start at something. But it occurred to me that many people, and I'm sure you will see this, Goddess Starr sees this too, probably in her practice, as I do as well. And sometimes I am guilty of this myself. Sometimes we hang on to a past that is irretrievable. It's gone now. But we just loved it so much, or we missed it so much, that we stay in that place and we don't move forward with many of the wonderful things that we could be doing now for ourselves. Or we'll do spell work or intention work and meditations and all kinds of other works to help us, but still subconsciously there's a part of our soul that does not want to let go of that past. And I speak from personal experience. It took me literally years to get over my husband's death. It did.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly. I was just, oh my gosh, you were thinking along the same lines as I did.
Years. Yeah. And actually it took me 10 years. 10.
Yep.
10.
Me too.
It took me 5 just to take his clothes down to the homeless shelter, where I know he would want his clothes to go, because he was that kind of a guy, and as I was handing them over, I was crying my eyes out, like I was handing over a child or something.
Yeah.
And so I do understand, and so I don't want anyone to think, oh, I'm being judgmental or anything. If anyone understands, it's me. It took me an entire decade to let that go. And Goddess Starr is also a widow. And it took you that long too, Goddess Starr?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think for the first 10 years I walked around in a I don't even know if it's a blur. It's like in a haze, I think. Even having people tell me, that guy came on so heavy to you and you didn't even notice. I did not acknowledge people around me. These, to have your mate, your life mate, taken from you early in, and that's pretty early on in a relationship, when we were talking about seeing each other till we old and haggard and walking around and
Right.
cussing at each other. And he used to talk about chasing me around the room trying to get in bed with me. And I'm like, yeah, as if you can get it up back when you get that old. Things that we used to say, and for him to die so young, it's devastating. It really is. And um I've never found anyone. It's not even a replacement. You're not looking for a replacement. um you just never found anyone else that I wanted to do or travel that path with again, ever. um Not even looking. And in some ways, you never really quite get over it. You just learn to move on, let go of certain things, let go of the clothing, let go of certain aspects, so that you can move on. But I think what we have done, because you're very much like me with that, and I don't think we realized it, but I think what we've done is, we've moved on, but we replaced it with things like our passion for being who we
Yes.
are, our passion for living to the best of our ability, our passion for the work that we do, that
Right.
our livelihood, our passion to help, our passion to reach out as much as we can. We've turned it into something else. So yes, we've moved on, but that's how we've moved on. That's how we've dealt with it, because it was so devastating to us. You do not find someone very often in your life that represented so much. So when it did happen, and to lose that person, in a way, it felt like, I remember thinking at one point, why give me someone so right for me and then take them away from me so young? Because I was in my late 30s when he died. You know, I'm just like, and I'm 57 now. So it's like, it just feels like, why are you punishing me by taking away the other half of of me, that life mate? So I think what we did was we found other passions, and that's why we move with it. We thrive on the everything that we do,
Yes.
because that's where we've centered it.
Helping them, teaching, helping,
Yep,
doing our
that's
other
what we've
stuff.
done.
We've transferred that. But,
Yes.
on the other hand, though, because this is what this show is about, is there's also a lot of, I invested so much of my heart into my husband,
Yeah.
and he's only 42.
Yes, my husband was 42 when he passed
42
away.
also. He was only 42 when he died.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of me that is still fearful. And I think a lot of people, you get so involved or you invest so much of yourself that there's a part of me that's like, well, what if I invest again and it gets taken
Yes.
away again?
Yeah, yeah. So we just don't.
Well, we just don't. But is that healthy for us? No, because we are tying ourselves to an
Yeah.
irretrievable past. And the reason we're using ourselves as an example, because we don't want it to come off like, oh, this is what you need to do, and here's your advice, and we're above all that. We're saying, no, we're down there in the abyss with you.
Yeah.
And as
We're
much as the
stuck
same
there.
way we want to pull you out of it, we're trying to pull ourselves out of that. And I think it is fear mainly that can keep us tied to an irretrievable past, because it's like, well, I invested my entire heart and my life into someone who was snatched away from me with almost
Yeah.
no warning
Before his time.
before his time. And what if I invest my heart? I can't go through that again. And
Yeah.
so it's easier for me to funnel that passion into my work and helping people and teaching people and doing shows and, filling my life up that way. But
Yeah.
truly, when we think about it, we, out of fear of investing our hearts, have
Have not
tied
really,
ourselves.
yeah. We haven't, not fully. Not
We,
in the way that because the reason that I know that we have not fully moved on is because we are at heart very loving people, very giving people.
mm-hmm.
And that's usually something that we in turn need that back as well. And we've put it off where we are doing more of the giving and we don't have that reciprocal thing from our mates.
Right.
And we, in a way, we have in our heads kind of said, I'm no longer looking for a mate. We've shut that half of ourselves off.
I say that all the time. I'm not looking for a boyfriend. People say,
No, I'm not. And I say it all the time too. And I'm like, you know, it just feels like everybody comes at you in some way trying to date you. And you're like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, because you're not even, it's not part of who you are without realizing it. And yeah, maybe we and it's interesting that both our husbands died when they were 42.
And they were 42.
My husband turned 42 September 2nd, 1991, and he was dead December 23rd at 10 p.m.
Yeah,
of leukemia.
I know what that feels like.
And I was just like, and I've never, I think it's because also many people, and I'm not going to say women only because I'm saying people in general, have searched for a lifetime to have the kind of mates or the kind of love that we've had. We can actually say we've had that kind of love that's all encompassing and all, for each other. There was not one-sided. It was a thing that was there. It was real. And unfortunately, we would turn and we would say, I understand. I've been there. I've had that once in my life. And we watch everybody around us going through these dysfunctional relationships. And we're not even judging or anything. We just sit back and we're like, at least in our heads, we're going, at least we've had something that we know was real.
Right.
And I think without realizing it, we inadvertently measure men that are wishing to get with us. We inadvertently measure them against our husbands that passed away, because they were the epitome of what a man should be like to us. They were there. They were treated us as equal partners. They were it was a selfless kind of a love, and we don't see that a lot with a lot of people, our friends and all of that. The dysfunction that we see, we're like, wow, I can't believe what I had once, and we compare it a lot without realizing it.
No, you do.
And when you meet a guy and they're coming on so heavily, you're sitting there going, yeah, you're falling short. He's still here and you're falling so short. Sorry, not interested. And you shut off without realizing it. Bam, you shut the door. And they cannot get through that door.
No.
We do it all the time. All the time.
It's true. And it's not even just, relationships. When I was a mortgage underwriter for over 25 years, when that industry died, I did everything I could to get back into it. I thought doing what I'm doing now, tooth and nail, because I wanted that money back. Even though I despised the mortgage business, it made me sick to the stomach because of the stress. The money was really good. And I literally had to be like 30 days away from homelessness before I put my skills to use. And now you couldn't even pay me $1 million to go back into that. So why do you in the chat room feel? I mean, we've talked about fear. We've talked about being afraid to invest our hearts again, which does, men can talk to you and wink at you and flirt with you. And you're just like, what? Because you're just not, your mind is just not there. Sorry. And then if you do notice, it's almost like, oh, no, get back. Because how do I know you're not going to leave me too in this way? What if I can't do it again? No. And so why are you guys, I'm sure you must have issues that are holding you back. Let's talk about them. I have decided this year that I am not going to let my past dictate my present and dictate my future. Those days are gone. It's like me tethering myself to an empty well, and I'm just waiting for water to come out the well, and there's no more water coming out of it. It's just gone.
Like you said, it's irretrievable. We really, unless these men are reincarnated in another soul and coming back like that, it's irretrievable. And And again, I think part of it is that we are seeing so much dysfunctional relationships that we have to deal with, helping people with, that
Sure.
we have to, among our friends and all of that, that all we do is basically shut ourselves off and kind of say, I am so grateful that at least I had one of that type of love in my life one time. So it's okay. I can do without it ever again. I'm good. I had my quota. It's kind of like saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my quota, so it's okay if I don't ever have it again. Essentially, that's what we've done. So
But that
check
said,
out the chat room and see what anybody has
yeah,
been
we're
saying.
gonna check that out. But that, you know what, like we said, part of the show is the reason we're using ourselves as example is, again, we don't want it to sound like, we're just telling you what to do and our lives are all that. We're using ourselves to show you, we are humbling ourselves before you to show you that yes, we have dealt with this too. But you can make that decision to not let your past tether you to an empty well. I'm not. I'm actually going to make attempts to get back out there, and if I hate it, then at least I can say I tried. At least I can say I gave it my best shot and it just didn't work out. If it does, all the better. Okay, so I have to start off with Goddess Judy, who's cracking me up, saying, Starr, could I trouble you for the name of your wine? Now, Goddess Judy Starr
Okay,
is
see,
not going to
Judy.
tell me.
Okay, see you, girl. That's just me. The last time I told anyone the name of my wine, it disappeared from the shelf of Trader Joe's for a long time.
A
So
month, I
I am
think it was
staying mum. I'm sorry. It was over a month. I would never do that again to myself. I'm never talking about my wine. It's just good, okay?
It's delicious. And Trader Joe's has
Yes.
a ton of wine by
A ton of
all
wines.
means.
Go check them out. Go get your own taste
That's
going and
right.
get your wine, and then don't tell anybody because your wine disappears. I
And they
complained for a long time.
things, on Friday nights, Saturday nights, and I think even part of Sunday they do little wine tasting so you can, taste their
Oh no,
wine
they
and serve these.
in Trader Joe's in Union Square in Manhattan, there is wine tasting every day, 1 to 8. I'm like, yes.
There you go. Go and taste some wine and decide for yourself because we're not telling you what wine we drink. Sorry.
Yep. Nope. No.
Not
No.
gonna happen.
Mm.
Good luck, though. Good luck with your search for the perfect
Judy's
wine.
like, Judy's like, I can't believe they're not letting me know.
Sorry.
No. 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 We tried.
All right, we've got beautiful Jasmine Moonglow who says bullying is so bad because any act is not contained within school grounds. Every fight or prank goes viral on the web. This is very true too. People think it's funny.
It's
You can put a
not.
bullying video up there and people like ha ha ha, and it's not funny at all. Hello there, beautiful Goddess Peggy, who's saying hello. Let me just. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling a little bit. Okay, we got that. Okay. Jasmine says, that is me. Leaving New York City was so devastating. I wanted to live in New York City and I was happy. I am not happy here in Boston.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
so
that I
sorry,
can
babe.
never go back to NYC and find NYC the same as when I left. But you know what? You could go back and find a bunch of fun things in New York City. Maybe it won't be the New York City that you left, but since it's always changing and evolving and things going on, we can change that to look forward to new things or new growth there or new friends and stuff like that. Peggy says, I'm having a hard time moving on after my divorce 4 years ago. I know it's not the same as your partner dying, but it's still hard. Actually, it is a form of death because
It is.
one
It
minute
is.
somebody is there and the next minute they are not. You've grown used to having that person with you, sleeping with you, eating with you, laughing with you, fighting with you, crying with you, going through all kinds of things with you, and poof, they're gone. So divorce is a form of death because it's the death of a relationship.
It is.
So it's okay to grieve it.
Yeah.
That's okay. And
Actually, you need to grieve it. You
yeah,
really do. If you don't grieve it, it's going to be literally cripple you. It's the truth because I watched a friend of mine in the last 2 years a 29 years married,
Wow.
29 years, and to have him do something that was so damaging that she had to divorce him for her own life's sake.
Wow.
And I watched her spiral down in such grief as if he died. It is a very devastating thing. And she literally, I had to help her through a grief of, she dealt with it as if he died. It's a grief of sorts. And you watch her go through it and you come out on the other end, and all you can do is have friends there with you, have people there for you. Reach out to us. We don't mind being all there for one another. This is a great group of people that you meet here. If that's what we have to do to help one another through whatever grieving times, at least we've got somebody. It's
Mhm.
when you're entirely alone and dealing with this that you spiral into that despair, that depression, because all of that is what you will go through. And it's a very devastating thing.
It's
It's
very
very hard.
devastating.
Reach out to somebody. Get, talk to people, you know, actually in some ways say speaking here, speaking your mind and letting it go is one form of releasing it, because we're all in a sense strangers. We're not seeing you physically. And in some ways that helps to let it go to somebody,
Mhm.
even if they're strangers in some way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, it's a good release, and do that. We don't mind at all.
Not at all. And you know what else you can do? Because I have a friend who joined a grief counseling group, but it wasn't just grief if someone died. If you were grieving the loss of a job, the loss of your dog, the loss of anything, something, if you've lost something that impacted you so heavily, you were welcome into that group. Didn't matter what it was you were grieving. And
Because grief is grief.
join a grief group, or you can set up your own like meetup group for other people who are grieving
Yep.
their divorces or whatever it is that they're grieving, so that you've got support there. And I understand how you feel with that. When I divorced my first husband, me and my first husband, we did not get along. It was just not the reason I married him in the first place was because he was sick and he had no one to take care of him. You
That
know,
was your assignment. Yeah.
and I was very young. I was only in my 20s. At this age, I would have hired him an attorney to fight with the hospitals and stuff. But back then, I
Right.
didn't know.
That was your assignment.
It was my
Remember?
assignment, and we were with him. I was with him for 7.5 years. And when I filed for divorce, it was a battle. It was a battle, this divorce. And I thought that when I got the divorce papers, I would be just laughing and dancing through the streets. And I cried my eyes out. I just cried and cried and cried and cried. It is a form of a death, and you have the right to grieve it. And don't apologize for it. You do what you have to do. And she goes on, God's Jasmine goes on to say, I feel like I did a time loop after my divorce. I went back to the shy introvert that I was before I met my ex husband. Heck, long before I tried dating people in community college, I was badly burned, and that trust is really hard for me. I can so dig it. I can so dig, like Goddess Starr and I were just saying, I still, despite the fact that I'm going to try and put myself back out there again, because I'm still a young woman and I'm ready to try, I'm terrified at the idea of investing my heart in someone and having them die or leave me. I don't want to go through that devastation again, but I also don't want to live in fear either. So just baby steps, go and start your own meetup group or join a group that's got some grief counseling. If you want to just focus it on for divorced people or set something up, you take control of your life by setting up the group yourself or a Facebook group, anything to help you have people to talk to and let it out. Just let it out so that you can continue to try to move forward if you choose to. And if you decide that you don't want to, that's okay too.
Yeah.
You don't have to. But we just want you to be happy within yourself and not feel like you feel shy or insecure or you're still suffering from the damage that was done by that. We just want you to heal. And then if you want to be by yourself after that, no problem. As much as I say I'm going to try out there, I'm really happy with me and my cats. Me and my cats, we get along just great. We watch TV together.
Yeah.
They sit with me while I eat. They're great companions. So you do what makes you feel comfortable. J.K. says, I ended up making horrible decisions in my distant past with relationships too. I still can't be in a long-term relationship. Never mind hand fasting yet. I can dig that. It feels like that. I'm sorry, just scroll too far. And there's this big blue arrow that
You know what? As you guys were talking about that, I keep saying I want to start a Facebook group for people who would like to meet someone again, and start anew in some way. But there are so many Facebook groups
yeah, there's
for
so
finding
many
someone. There's
out
so many
there.
of them. It's just that when you go and you try to join them, and you're like, wow, this is just silly. They're either not of the right ages, or they say stupid things, or they're just there for looking at one another's bodies. And I'm like, oh, it is not a pleasant thing out there. It's just not.
Okay, and we've got Debbie who says, not trying to go off topic, but I feel like there's a spirit behind Rhonda. Nothing bad, but I feel there's another spirit there and curious. I have lots of spirits that stroll through my house. As long as they are not doing anything to harm me and my cats, pull up a chair, watch TV, I don't mind. But
Yeah,
I've always got guides and spirits around me, so it's no biggie. And my cats are all chilled out. If it was something that was bad, they'd
yeah,
be
they'd be like, I
all over
know,
the place.
I
They'd be
know.
chasing it because they chase spirits also.
Yeah,
Okay, we've got Raven who says, my biggest fear is that I will fall deeply in love and he will die on me. Well,
yeah.
after living that,
We been there, girl.
and that fear. But again, do we really want to tether ourselves from moving forward, from evolving because we're afraid? As witches, we're not afraid to get out there and say, I'm a witch, and if you don't like it, you can kiss my butt. As women, we get out there, we do what we have to do. We can't is it okay to let fear rule us? That is my big issue. I don't like being controlled. I'm a big control freak myself. I do not like being controlled. And I'm realizing that I have allowed fear of being hurt to control me. And so that's where we have to, I've decided, not for nothing, but I'm a psychic, for God's sake. I'm an empath. I should be able to use my abilities to read the next person that comes into my life before I let them in, and to make sure that they are suitable. Just doing my own psychic readings and feeling their energies and things like that. As witches, we can do that. And so we don't actually have to be that susceptible, because we can read that person. Either you can read them intuitively, empathically, use your cards, use your crystal ball, use your tea leaves, whatever you have to do. And if your guides are like, no, do not go near this person, pay attention to that. Or if they're like, go ahead and give it a shot. Now, the few people that I have been interested in, my brother Richard, who passed away in the 90s, always has shown up and stood between me and that person. And one time I didn't, the first time he did that, I didn't listen. And it wasn't a love relationship either. It was, this guy was strictly my friend. We were really close friends and we hung out together all the time. And he was married. I met his wife. She didn't seem to have an issue. And it was not a love relationship. My brother would always stand between us. Like I said, Richard, what is your problem? This is not a love relationship. What could possibly go wrong? He's just my friend. Well, it turns out, and I know this is a bizarre story, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you since we're just going ahead and putting it all out there. As it turns out, this guy told me that the reason he was really hanging out with me was because when he was with me, he would have sexual fantasies about me and then go home and sleep with his wife while having those fantasies. So I fueled his fantasies.
Oh my gosh.
And I was first of all, I felt so stupid that I didn't know. I wish he had never told me that. Of course, that was the end of the friendship. That was the end of that one.
Yeah.
I don't even know
How
what started him.
disgusting. That's so disrespectful to his
And then,
wife.
well, he said, and he says, and my wife knows about it. I do this all the time.
Oh
And
my gosh. And she condones this.
I was just,
Oh, she must be really, really think so little of herself.
that's what I said. I was like, there is no freaking way that my husband is going to go hang out with a woman. Well, he says, well, it's not like we were cheating. We never did. I said, yeah, that's cheating. First of all, it's disgusting to know that I'm sitting here talking to you about whatever it is we're talking about, and you're having all these fantasies about going and going home to your wife and thinking of me. That was disgusting. I found that degrading and
Yeah, it's cheating.
disgusting. And it is cheating, but I was angry with myself because I never realized
Pay
anything
attention.
was wrong. I never probed his energy that way. He seemed like a nice guy, and we had a lot of fun together. You know, I mean, all we did was we'd go out to eat or we'd chat on the phone, but still, we had a lot of fun. So it never occurred to me that he was just devious that way. So that scared me too. And that's, I said, Richard, whenever you stand between me and someone else, I will now listen to you, because I had no idea that that was going on. So at least I have my brother who will protect me, but also I am a professional psychic. I read other people's mates' energies for them all day long. I can certainly do the same thing for myself, and so can you as a witch, as a practitioner. We have gotten the skills and the knowledge that we need to look into whoever it is we need to look into to make sure that they are safe. We don't have to go by, oh, he has good eyes, pretty eyes, or a nice smile, or beautiful biceps, or, I really feel like I vibe with him. You say, okay, you know what? I feel attracted to this guy. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. And now I'm going to probe him and find out what he's all about before I even bother to waste my time. And if you feel like you can't do that for yourself, because a lot of people can't read for themselves, you got me and Got a Star right here. You can set up appointments with us. We will read that person for you and let you know if they're suitable for you or not. But we ourselves are trying to cut that link to the past. And so we want everyone to feel comfortable with going forward and not being afraid to do so. Okay, let's see if we've got anybody else here. I've got, was there somebody before that? Okay, we've got Peggy who says, very true. Okay, Jasmine says, I haven't dated in so long, I wouldn't know what to do with a man if a man came into my life. Yes, you will.
You're so funny.
You will.
So funny.
You read a couple of like romance novels, and
that's all I ever do is read romance novels. Exotic, erotica,
erotica. Get your juices going.
I know.
And
I got that part covered. I just don't do anything else with it. That's funny.
Go. And she goes on to say, I feel tethered to a oh wait, my thing scrolled here just as I was saying that. Sorry about that, guys. Bear with me for just 1 minute. I hate when it does that. Okay, just, geez, it really scrolled. Oh, it must have scrolled all. Okay, I feel tethered to a lead ball and chain. We understand that, and we want to help you to cut that chain and move forward. You know what? Do it with me and Got a Star. Me and Got a Star, we're putting our toes in the water. Yeah. By the way, I'm volunteering you, Got a Star, that you're doing this.
I noticed.
Did you notice that? You don't really have a choice.
I'm like, okay, all right. I'm gonna have to do this, aren't I?
We're gonna do this
because I honestly don't think about it. I really don't.
I know, but we're gonna try to do this together.
Yes, we will.
Just stick our toe in the water. And so,
okay, so what's a good website to join?
Well, we're gonna look at that and see what's a good website to join.
That's why I think we should start our own.
What's good? Well, the thing there's a lot of the liability issues with that. Like people sue Match and all those other places. I'd have to look at that. It would have to be.
I'm not talking about a website. I'm talking about like a Facebook group that is
like
real.
A group or something?
Like a Facebook group that's real, where put them through a lot of questions and say, because this is not, when you look at a lot of groups that has, I've stuck my foot into some of them and I'm like, I can't believe these people, are they here to meet people for real and have a it's just so silly. And I just clock out. I'm just like, it's silly.
I understand.
So
I understand. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's do, we've been wanting to do a midnight margarita, sexy sage and crone show. Let's make that the focus, and that's what we'll do. We'll do that. What is this? April. Let's do that in May, and it's going to be a pajama party. So
your
lingerie.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, lingerie. Oh my gosh.
Sex yourself up. We are going to be the sexy goddess.
That's a good one for Beltane. So like May 7th, that's Beltane, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for Beltane.
Yeah. That's like perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And we're going to put on our sexy lingerie
Oh
and
my goddess, listen to her with the sexy lingerie.
and we're going to be talking about how to get our sexy back on. That's what we're going
Oh
to
my
do.
gosh. Okay.
Even if we're just getting our sexy back on for ourselves, we are going to get our sexy back on.
Yes. Well, that's what you got to do first. Forget anybody else. You got to do it first for yourself.
We're going to do that. All right, we've got J. Key who says, my hangups are a combination of my horrible judgment and where I'm living being one of the highest rates in domestic violence. Yes, here, unfortunately, in New Mexico, we are sky high with domestic violence that no one, they don't really, so police don't seem to do much about it. We've got Eclectic Goddess. Hold on, Eclectic. Okay. Well, it says, you got me all teary-eyed. My wife and I were discussing friends of ours today who are in such a toxic relationship. We used to try to help, but now we just observe from afar. And that's really all you can do is when it's another couple and they're going.
You can't really help. Honestly, you can't.
You can't. That has to be resolved between them. There's really
they have to want to help themselves. Otherwise, you're fighting a lost cause. And
really
honestly, you might end up being on the receiving end of anger from them for it. Don't, because then it comes off as if, why, you guys are so perfect, so you're going to come and help us get that kind of, no. They will resent you. They will resent your interference. That's the way they would see it. You really can't. You can only do it from a distance and kind of go, okay, then.
That's all
that's all you can do. Seriously.
It is. It's all you can do. And Jakey says, I live across the hall from a domestic violent couple as well. I tried helping her, but she keeps taking him back. So I had to watch from afar. And you know what happens is when you don't think that this woman is ignoring you, what she's really saying to you is, I have to stay in the abyss a little bit longer because the abyss has something to teach me. And painful though it is to watch, we're all here to learn. And if this is part of her life lesson, unfortunately, you can't pull her, unwillingly out of the abyss. She has to hold her hand out and say, can you please help me up? Otherwise, you'll get pulled into the abyss with her.
Yeah.
And then you end up being the enemy, and then she'll take him back, and then she'll never speak to you again because you're the enemy now. So all you can really do is watch from afar, call the police if things get out of hand, or do what you can do. I know it's painful to watch that. It's horrible, but there's not a whole lot you can do except maybe put pamphlets for domestic violence shelters under her door or give her resources, and then it's up to her to try and do something. Unfortunately, we can't force people to do it. And then we have Red Bouquet Ada. I love that Red Bouquet. I usually catch up on your videos on the next day, but tonight I'm lucky to hop online. Yay, we're so glad.
So glad you were able to do it. Yes, awesome.
Great. Pleasure to meet you. Marry me. Debbie S says, I'm happy being single. I can dig it. You know, I have my cats. I love my cats. And Peggy saying thank you. We've got Debbie says, wow, so divorced, my mom should grieve it and all. She's still having nightmares since 2002. I'm sorry. It hurt me too. My dad wasn't in my life anymore. That explains so much. Yes, your mom has to grieve this and let it out. Because if you just keep it in, like I kept it in for 10 years. 10.
You will walk around in literally a haze, and she's
in a haze. And it's also unhealthy. It raises your blood pressure. It does a lot of not good things.
It damages you.
It does. It damages you very much.
And the grieving stage, honestly, no one can say. It could be 10 years, it could be 15 years. Who knows how long each person
it could be 1 year.
Go through. Yeah.
Start dating after a year.
You know what I mean? It's the grieving for each person is based on what they went through, what type of relationship they had with that person. The longer they were with that person, or if it was a life mate or something, the harder it is.
The harder it is.
So it's like, it's a lot to go through. All you can do is be there for them.
I agree. And Jakey says that she had to hide. And there's a blue arrow, so I'm thinking it says a 70-some-odd-year-old woman from her murderous 6'7", 85-year-old husband that she was married to for 18 years. And it turned out he had Dementia with violent tendencies. That's terrible. I'm so,
Wow.
especially at that age to go through that. I'm so sorry. Peggy says sometimes it's easier to talk to strangers or people who don't know you.
Yes, it
Yes,
is
that
true.
is
That is
true.
true.
That's true. Jasmine says, I can handle a death. It is betrayal that is more of a concern. I can dig that too. But again, because you are a witch and because you have skills, you can actually look into the person before you even get involved with them. And you can do some psychic exploration to see if that person is trustworthy or not. We've got Debbie who says it's the same feelings as losing a pet. While I know we can't physically care for a cat, me and my mom went to welcome a new furry family member, another doggy. Oh, it's great to have animals because they just love you and they cuddle you up and they're companions.
They're very great with dealing with grief too. They're very, very helpful with grief.
Because
They
and
really
they
are.
know that you're upset and they surround you and they make you feel better. Peggy loves cats. And Debbie says, my 16-year-old kitty cat Angel passed away on the 11th. Oh, I'm so
Oh, I'm
sorry.
so
I know what that
sorry.
feels like. I know what it's like to miss her. But I bet, I bet sometimes you still feel her like rub up against your legs and stuff. All the cats that I've lost, I've always had cats. They always come back to visit me. Debbie also says, no, it's not a bad spirit in here. It better not be a bad spirit in here. But if there was, I would know it. Ellen says, you know something I really have been waiting for. Hold on, I scrolled. Forgive me. I've really been waiting for this group meet on Mondays when we don't have a Monday talk. I feel so disappointed. Oh, I'm so
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
We
But
miss you guys too.
we
I have to tell
guys
you
do.
because
And
this
you know
is
what? When we have to take a day off, we don't take a day off lightly, believe me. I mean, we have to be like deep down sick or have no internet. I mean, there has to be a serious issue.
yeah, because we miss it. It's
We
part of
do. This
it's
is
part of what we
addicting for
do. It
us.
is part of
We
what we
love
do,
it.
and we miss it just like you guys are. Um, yeah. So please, yeah, and always know that we're here. We do try.
We're here. And then we have Eclectic Goddess who says, Debbie, yes, when she did the new moon ritual, I guess that would be me, last night, I kept seeing a man there with her, but I would dismiss it. It would not surprise me, especially because I'm talking about my husband and I'm talking
Yes,
about moving
yes,
on, that my husband is probably hanging around saying it's about time.
yes,
He would not have
yes,
wanted me to sit here like this. He would not have
yes.
wanted me to do that. He would have wanted me to be happy. So it probably is my husband
Yeah,
hanging
yeah.
around.
I would not be surprised because people have told me recently they will describe my husband, and they've never met him. Because he died way before I ran into them or anything like that.
Mhm.
And they describe it, and I said, "Yep, I know who that is."
Yeah,
Because we hold on to it, and we've tethered ourselves, and we need to slowly take that away, and it takes time.
exactly.
It takes time.
It can also
You
be
know.
my brother Richard who's got his heads up because I said I'm looking, but it's more than likely my husband because he hangs around a lot with me.
Oh,
Uh,
and one other thing, Goddess Rhonda said, as witches, we should use our skills to help us to define who's what. Even if you're not a witch, and you are, in I head, like you've always heard me say, and Goddess Rhonda say, that we believe that you're born a witch. It's up to you to pick up the mantle in this lifetime. Um, Use your intuition because I guarantee you that a lot of times the very first thing that come to you, you're like, oh my goodness, no. And you want to walk away. And for some reason, being nice, you allow certain things and things go on from there.
this is true.
Use your intuition from the get-go. It's there for a reason. That first thought,
Yeah,
that first reaction, is there for a reason. Utilize it. Stop ignoring it. That's what a lot of you guys do. We all do it
we
with
all do
different
it.
things. We
We
all
all
do
do
it
it.
with different things. We have to stop. Our intuition is there for a reason. It's heightened. It's aware when you have accepted yourself as a witch. That's all that's happened. So learn to react and use it. Okay.
Absolutely, I
Saying that.
100% agree. Um, okay, so Debbie says exactly. Speak it, Rhonda. You got that, Goddess Deb. We've got. I'm sorry. There it goes. Deb says the spirit is a male energy, and Eclectic Goddess agrees. Yes, it is. But he's good. Yeah, it's my. I'm pretty sure it's my husband. Um, Debbie says, oh dear, gross, sweet, that guy. Okay, I'm not sure. I think that you might have an autocorrect that happened there. Where was, sorry, I'm scrolling again. I hate when that happens. Where was I? Okay, I'm feeling, okay, that's not it. Keep going. Oh, okay, so there's eclectic goddess says yes, kind of like he's protecting her, not because she's in danger or anything, but just because. And my husband was very, very protective of me. If someone even looked at me funny, he was ready to kill that person. So he was extremely, extremely protective of me. Okay, we've got Peggy who says she would have been horrified, and J.K. says me too. Same feelings with regards to the spirit. You know, I'm so used to spirits being around me. I'm sure Goddess Starr, we have to talk to them all the time. We have people who want us to do reading work and talk to their husbands or their mothers, or I don't have a problem with them. They can live here with me as long as they're not bothering anybody. I'm good. A lot of them are just passing through anyway. We have Junia. I hope I said your name correctly. Um, I'm sorry. Hello. Hello there, Goddess. We're glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming. And we've got Debbie. I'm feeling ill of that guy who had those fantasy shutters. Oh, he was disgusting. I never spoke to him again, ever. But we were friends for like a year or so. I mean, it really hurt me. And I really felt like, I cannot tell you how stupid I felt.
Violating. It actually, he violated you.
Oh, it was just, but I think I got so upset with myself because I did not know. My mind just wasn't there. And so I didn't notice anything, but I will not make that mistake again. Okay. We have Amalove. Hi, Amalove. It would be nice to plan an annual witch trip to build each other up. Well, as you say that, you know, we do have the upcoming Witch Fest. Oh my God, Goddess Starr, talk about our upcoming Witch Fest.
Oh, goodness. Well, yes. It's July 13th, 14th, and 15th. And it begins on the Friday and ends on the Sunday. And I think it's over 33 different workshops and over 16 different presenters. And it begins on the Friday night, I believe at 5:30 to 10 o'clock at night of workshops. And I'm not sure about the vending yet. On Saturday is out on the street on Astor Place between Broadway and Lafayette in Manhattan. And on the whole block we have with about 55 vendors, workshops, free workshops all day long for you guys to partake of, many different lovely ones. All the workshops and the times and everything are all up on the website already, on witchesfestusa.org, spelled WITCHS as in Sam, F as in Frank, ESTUSA.org. If you go there, you will see most of the information there. And there is a list of amazing presenters and workshops. And like I said, the vendors, it's just a fun weekend of
so much
in
fun.
New York City. Goddess Rhonda, all of us are going to be there. And it's just, I think it's such a magical weekend that we created.
Very much.
I started it, this is our 7th year, so I started it 7 years ago. And it is a fundraiser for our temple, the New York City Wiccan Family Temple, to try to eventually get our own physical building in New York City. That's where it started in the first place. But it's turned into this really wonderful, magical weekend for all of us to come down and from all over the world, for you guys to all come and enjoy. So I would love to see many of you guys there. If you can, it would be wonderful to see you, and you'd come up to us and go, Goddess Rhonda, it's you guys. I'm J.K. or I'm whatever, Judy. You know, it would be nice to see you guys who come up, and maybe we can even plan one of the days at the end of the day to have a time together with us. So you never know, but we'd love to see you guys there.
We would love that. That would just really be way too awesome for you guys to come. Okay, let's see. All right. There's Jasmine Moonglow. There is a big blue arrow that's not your fault. It's on YouTube, and I can't quite see what that word is. I'm trying to. It starts with a P. It's something I don't know if it says proud of him, LOL, sorry, my mind has gone X-Files. I love the X-Files. That was a cool show.
Yeah.
Yes, Debbie Spenceley. Debbie says Goddess Starr has her favorite wine.
Yes.
Face palm. Yes, Goddess Starr is never going to tell the name of her wine again. Don't
No,
even.
no more, not again.
We have Jasmine who says, out of sex, I wouldn't know what to do. Outside of sex, I wouldn't know what to do with men. Well, sex is a good place to start.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, just to
yes.
get the juices going again. We have Goddess Judy says, Starr, I feel like I could move on if I just had that lovely wine that you. Goddess Judy's not giving up.
I
If I
know.
just had that lovely
She's like,
wine.
oh my goodness. Nope, not telling. Zip, not telling.
Yeah, she's
I
never
know she's gonna be like, I'm gonna get that from Goddess Star no matter what I do.
yeah, it's not. I'm sorry, Goddess Judy. It's not going to happen.
Nope,
I
I
know
tried it once and I paid the price when I said it. So never
she made a
again.
big sacrifice last time, and she's not willing to do it again. That's so she's just not going to do
I
it.
want to be able to walk into Trader Joe's and see my wine. And they watched me stalk them every day when I walked in. They're like, no, sorry, it's not here yet. No, sorry, it's not here yet. And they knew me. They know me in Trader Joe's.
Exactly. And we've got Jasmine who says we need to do how Stella got her groove back. That was a good movie.
Yes, right. That was, but you see that movie was a good movie. But did you hear what happened afterwards?
No, what happened?
How Stella got her groove back. The movie was based on a true story, but the guy we found out was gay, and he did that to get over to the United States and be with his guy.
Oh, that was the real background.
Real thing behind it. When after they got married and everything, yeah, he did that to get to the U.S. to be with his lover. So she was
Oh, that
devastated.
is
She was
awful.
devastated when it came out.
That's just awful.
It was
That's just
awful. It was awful. I was just like, and a lot of people were like, "Wow, how could you have done that?" You know,
I didn't
all
know
of that.
that.
Yep.
That's awful. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
So
but I understand the idea of how
I
Stella got her
do.
group back.
We
You're right.
understand the concept of
The
it.
concept is an awesome concept. Yes, but I don't want any younger guy. I don't know if I want a younger guy, and I don't want an older guy too. So I don't know what I want.
It's just like I don't want an older guy. I don't want a younger guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Left.
What's left? Because the older guys, a lot of times, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna say the words. And then the younger guy, they're just too childish. Even when I was younger, I remember dating guys that were older and they were more my speed, than the younger guys. So I don't know. I'm at a conundrum.
Well, you know what? We'll just wait and see who comes along and
Yeah.
take it from there.
Yes.
And so we've got our Jasmine who says, I think being wicked limits me because not all men are open minded about spirituality. Now that's true too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, because
That's true also.
when I go to these websites and I put up like Plenty of Fish was the one that I chose, and I put up, my first thing is I'm a witch. I'm not saying, and I basically said, don't even go any further if that first word bothers you.
Right.
Don't even look further, and right away that lessens it down a lot, which is why it makes you want to start your own group of so people will understand, okay, pagan oriented. And then even among the pagans, when they start their own groups with that, it just all seems so childish. Like they're not, it's still empty. All of it's still empty.
Right. We've got Jasmine who says, oh, I'm sorry. We've got Peggy who says, I think you're saying bringing sexy back. Again, I have this very annoying blue arrow here. You know what? There's a way to pop out the chat room. I wonder, let's see what happens if that takes that arrow away. Give me just 1 second, guys. If it doesn't come up, then I'll just let it go because it's scrolling.
I think when you...
Okay, wait. Oh, now that's much better. There's no arrow. Okay.
When you make it wider?
Yeah, if you look on the chat room, there's these 3 little vertical dots. And you click on that and it gives you the option to pop out the chat room. And then that
Oh,
arrow is gone.
okay.
Okay, so let's see now. It's so much better. I'll show you how to do it because this is so much better than trying to fight that other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Judy who still wants that wine. You're not getting the wine, Jude. Um, we're bringing
Boy,
Seth
she is
back.
really.
We have
Oh
Raven
gosh,
who
she's
says
funny.
betrayal is on my list. Also, we've got Just Courage. I have this ex that is so delusional, him having the idea that my rejection towards him is the opposite. Um, I'm a married woman. Well, we do. There are people who can't. He's someone who can't let go, and he'll be willing to make up excuses instead of letting it go. Jakey also underscores never second guess your intuition. It's never wrong, which is true. Jasmine says I have a pervy prankster ghost who likes to undo my bra. Now, see, that's not nice to have someone undoing your bra. Hopefully not in public, because that would be even worse. Let's see. We have Raven who says, I would come, but I'm afraid to fly that far. That's okay. We've got buses and trains. There's other ways we can get you
And
there.
see, you know what you can do? Try to see if you can do a carpool with maybe you and a couple of others in a car,
Yeah,
and you
car
guys share
would
the
be good.
gas and all of that, because it's kind of cool doing trips like that. You get to know people, as well as you get to share the gas and all of that coming down and back.
And we've got Ashley who says 1111 with a heart, blessed be. Jakey agrees that how Stella got her group back didn't end well. I really did not know that. I didn't know that was based on a true story and that I
Yeah.
did that to her. That's just awful. And as Jakey said, I would have been shattered too. I would have been. I don't even know what I would have done with myself. Jasmine Moonglow says, wow, that sounds like me, except Wasim had another wife back in Pakistan. I dated a guy close to my age who complained about every ache and pain and every other health issue.
That's what I mean.
Those
I don't want to. I don't want to.
fine.
I don't want. I don't want to compare pains. I don't want to. You know. Can you get it up? I don't want. I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah, we don't want to go through that. So maybe you should consider a younger man. We've got Jasmine goes on to say I dated a Wiccan guy, but he was polyamorous. Jay Key says, yeah, the spiritual part is a problem for me too. As more and more are not as understanding as they used to be, you can barely state pagan on your profile anymore. Not only that, men, and I've had guys tell me that they wouldn't go out with a witch, not because we're witches, but because we're psychic and they wouldn't be able to have secrets from us. We would know what they were doing. And that's the kind of guy you don't want to be with anyway. If he's already
Yeah, if you're gonna,
plotting,
yeah, you having serious, if you're really gonna be honest with someone, you shouldn't have secrets like that unless it's really something. Even then, I'm sorry, even damaging to hurt someone. I'm sorry. Mm-mm.
I agree. Alan says, I can't wait. I made a promise to myself, and I'm bringing my niece, who's a member of this group, to the big festival in New York City.
Yay!
We look
I can't wait.
forward.
You would not believe how happy I would be to see you guys.
We
We
would
will
be
have
so
to get together
happy.
and have dinner or something. We would have to do that before you guys leave.
Jasmine says to me, in New York City, the dating game has gotten incestuous. That's not good. Veronica
No.
says,
Yeah,
call your
I think
group
it's always been that way.
magical meetups. I like that. I have a group called Magical Meetups. We've got Jay Key who says I could get away with saying I'm agnostic until they come over and see all the gods, goddesses, angels, and
See, I don't want to lie because that to
yeah,
me
I'm
is
not gonna
lying.
lie. I am who I am.
I am so straight up. The first thing I said was I am a witch in big block prints. I said do not read any further if that's a bother.
If that's a problem for
Why
you.
bother? Because and then for some reason I had all these Christians coming at me. I'm like, are you totally serious here?
Well, because I wanted to save your soul, goddess Starr.
I know. So I deleted. I had to keep deleting my profile on things, and I just stopped altogether. I can't. It's too tiresome.
It is. It's tiresome. We have Ashley. We've got our last remark for the night. We have Ashley Elizabeth, who says, I like to start off by telling them I'm into crystals to see how they respond. Okay, that's a kind of way to kind
That's a
of
good one. That's a good one.
that's
Um,
that's cool.
but it makes it more difficult, which is why I have a tendency, like you said, we like to stay in control. So I have a tendency to say, well, then I'll start my own website like that, not website, my own Facebook group like that, and that way we can dictate what we want to have. Be honest, or everybody puts their profile of what they like. So I don't know, something. It's just Oh, when you look at, there are so many Facebook groups now for people who are dating, right? Aren't there a lot of dating groups now on Facebook? But it's just like every single one of them are lacking. They're lacking. They're just ew.
Well, you know, it is. We're witches and pagans and things like that, but there's still people with personalities,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what happens. And I just put in just to see into Facebook, you know, pagan dating. They've got pagan dating group, pagan Wiccan dating and friends,
Yeah.
pagan path dating and friends. For groups, they have pages, pagan dating in the UK. I mean, there's lots out there. But,
Yeah.
you know, I think that we should write down, you know, to do our own spell work and write down the kind of person we're looking for and start to bring in that kind of, you know, using our own intention work to bring in the kind of person that will resonate with us harmoniously. Or just go out and, you know, just go dancing and just go and have some fun. Just stick your toe in. I mean, I can't just throw myself
Actually, that
out
would
there
be
like
nice. That would be nice for us to go. I wish you guys were all close by. We can all go out just on a night out, just for us to go hang out and dance, just to enjoy ourselves. I think just the euphoria of that, the endorphins and everything. I think that's kind of cool. I'm gonna go just dance and have fun, and hey man, I will dance with my cane in a heartbeat. I take my cane, put it right there, and I will dance like I used to love to dance. So I would try. I will, believe me, I will try.
I agree. I agree. All right, everyone. Well, I know it's late where you guys are. It's going on 11:30 in New York. I really
Oh
enjoyed
wow. Yeah.
this discussion with all of you. We're just so appreciative of you and just that we can feel comfortable, you know, telling you guys about our struggles and what we're trying to do and having you on this journey with us to cut those cords of fear and to really untether ourselves from the past and move forward with life. You know, that's a beautiful thing to have that feeling of solidarity and harmony that I feel from this group. And I feel comfortable that I can sit here and say, you know, here's my issues. You know, what's yours? Let's talk about them. Let's share and let's come to some sort of resolution. So we are definitely going to do our Beltane, Sexy Sage, and Crone. So
Yeah.
everyone has to
That's a
come
nice show to have.
in your sexiest, even though no one will see you but you have to wear your sexiest lingerie and bring some wine or champagne or a margarita or whatever it is. And we're just going
Yeah.
to have a
Beltane party
blast.
margarita night. You.
We are just going to have a blast and we're going to look sexy and talk about sexy things and how to be sexy and everything else. That it's just going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
So we're going to, when
It's
did you
like,
say Beltane?
I'm too sexy for myself.
Me and one of my friends were singing that this weekend.
I'm too sexy for myself.
We were singing that this weekend. So we're definitely going to set that up. And as always, you know, we love you. We appreciate
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so much. You have to know
Meh.
we love you.
Yeah.
And so hopefully all of your new moon intentions will come to a speedy and positive fruition. And,
Yeah.
you know, with that said, merry meet.
Merry meet, merry part, and
And
merry
merry
meet again. And great
thank
to
you,
see you guys. Have a
everyone.
good
We
night.
love
Blessed
you.
everyone.
Mwah. Have a really good
Mwah.
day.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.